Kawartha, Durham police forces won't be doing random compliance checks for new provincial order. Dan Kearns, Local Journalism Initiative reporter for The Standard. Kawartha, Durham. Neither the Durham Regional Police, DRPS, nor the Kawartha Lakes Police, KLPS, will be doing random compliance checks for Ontario's stay-at-home order. We will be approaching calls for service on a case-by-case basis. We will be responding with a balanced approach using education and enforcement when necessary, keeping overall public safety in mind. We will not be randomly stopping individuals on the street asking for personal details. If, however, an officer is going to issue a ticket, an individual must identify themselves either verbally or with documentation, read a statement from KLPS Chief Mark Mitchell, released on Thursday, January 14th. Durham Regional Police had a similar interpretation of the powers granted to the authorities in the new stay-at-home order. Under Ontario's new stay-at-home order, police do not have the authority to enter a dwelling or stop a vehicle for the singular purpose of checking compliance. The DRPS will continue enforcing non-compliance in partnership with Durham Public Health and local bylaw, issuing tickets when necessary. Those found in violation could face a fine, read a DRPS press release. Since the pandemic began in March, DRPS has issued 16 tickets and laid 17 charges under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, EMCPA, 13 tickets and 8 charges under the Reopening Ontario Act, ROA, and 5 tickets under the Quarantine Act. The provincial order requires people only to leave their homes for essential work, to see their healthcare professional, to buy essential items, or for exercise. However, the KLPS chief stated there are other exemptions to the order. The order also said people are allowed to travel, if doing so for an exempt purpose, to another home if a person is going to be at the residence for less than 24 hours, or is going to live at the home for at least 2 weeks. If a person is caring for parents, guardians, or if they are acting as a caregiver, people are allowed to travel to perform those purposes, he wrote in his statement. For those who are moving or making arrangements to buy or sell a property, to begin or end a lease, they will also be allowed to travel under the order. The government has said that the order does not apply to homeless people.
Uxbridge Recreation announces new seniors program. Uxbridge. The Township of Uxbridge, in collaboration with the Uxbridge Senior Citizens Club, is excited to announce the Senior Centre Without Walls, SCWW program. The SCWW is a free, interactive, telephone-based program that connects seniors 55+ in our community. 8 activity sessions will be offered between February and March for participants to stay social and connected with their peers during this difficult time. Enjoy the experience of a senior centre from the comfort of your own home. This free program has been made possible by the Older Adult Centres Association of Ontario, OACAO, with funding of $5,000 provided by the Government of Ontario. For registration or more information, please phone the Uxpool office at 905-852-7831. Voicemail is being checked regularly. Please leave a message with your name, phone number, and desired activity session, and a representative will return your call. Registration opens January 25th for the first session. Registration for each following session will open 1 week prior to the activity date. Spots are limited. Join us every other Monday and Wednesday in February and March at 1:30 p.m., beginning February 8th. February 8th and 22nd and March 8th and 22nd, categories. We will have fun and compare our answers playing a virtual game of Parker Brothers categories. Letters and categories are picked for you. All you need is a paper, a pen, or pencil, and your creativity. Join us for the fun and laughter. February 17th, test your knowledge with trivia. Get your mind working and put your knowledge to the test with a collection of fun-filled trivia questions. Rule number 1, no checking the internet. March 3rd, find more out about you with a game of Would You Rather. If you had to choose between one or the other, what would you rather pick? We ask the tough questions like, would you choose chocolate ice cream or chocolate brownie? Not a hard enough question? Maybe we will ask some tougher questions too. March 17th, find out if it's fact or fiction. Explore fun facts and test your knowledge about myths, legends, and true facts and stories. Is it true or false? St. Patrick's Day themed. March 31st. 5-Minute Mysteries. Become your favorite detective from a novel or television series. Guess who done it after listening to mysteries that will keep you wondering with each clue. You are the detective. Do you think you can solve it? In partnership with the Older Adult Centres Association of Ontario, OACAO, with funding provided by the Government of Ontario. Scugog lays out latest municipal impact from provincial rule changes. Dan Kearns, Local Journalism Initiative reporter for The Standard. Scugog. The Township of Scugog is adapting, following the province issuing a new state of emergency and a stay-at-home order early last week. On Thursday, January 14th, the Township issued a press release outlining the changes being implemented. All Township of Scugog public facilities will remain closed, and in-person programs and events have been cancelled until further notice. All other municipal services will remain available through Dropbox, telephone, email, and virtual meetings. Various recreation and culture programs are now available online, the press release read. The Township plans to have their bylaw officers increase regular patrols in no parking zones and in recreation areas to ensure people are not gathering in groups of more than 5 people. Under the state of emergency, bylaw officers have been given additional authority to issue tickets to individuals who do not comply with the stay-at-home order or those not wearing a mask or face covering indoors, as well as retail operators and companies who do not enforce COVID-19 orders. Scugog has postponed all of the inspection requests for occupied buildings, and as stated, all structural inspections on unoccupied buildings will be inspected on site with only the inspector in the building. Indoor sports at the Scugog Community Recreation Centre is also affected by the new provincial rules. Ice surfaces will be pulled from the facility and all ice programming cancelled, the press release stated. Additionally, no indoor public and social gatherings are permitted. Outdoor public and social gatherings are limited to a maximum of 5 people and will impact recreation areas in the community such as, but not limited to, informal or personal skating rinks, toboggan hills, parks, playgrounds, and the off-leash dog park. Mayor Bobby Drew, in a statement, called on residents to do their part to slow the spread of COVID-19. I urge residents to please follow the province's stay-at-home order. Additional measures are necessary at this time to further protect the community, reduce the spread of the virus, and ensure our health system has the capacity to treat people in need of assistance, including those who have non-COVID health issues. Enforcement measures should be a last resort. I know our community will continue to band together to be respectful of the rules and of each other. My thoughts are with the residents of Port Perry Place, the patients in hospital, those who have succumbed to this virus, the families and healthcare workers that care for them each day. I thank all frontline workers and ask that we continue to follow the rules for their sake.
A perspective reflective, a good thing. We're on our way in 2021. The battleship is launched and we're out on the seas of life. Have things for you changed yet? Most would say very little. There are still waves and ups and downs, but of course, it's really too soon to tell how far the possibilities may go. How much power does the new year really have to prevent sickness or change our lives when it comes down to it? None, really. What can change is our attitudes to the things we've gained through the hindsight of the past year. I hope this editorial finds you in a reflective orientation. For instance, because many have had more time to slow down, they are not living at a blurred pace and had more time to evaluate what their lives have been about, instead of being driven by the pursuit of the not-so-almighty dollar. This is a good thing. The video games have been exhausted, and time online has become so common it provides little attraction compared to before. And this kind of boredom can be a good thing. It can finally cause us to listen when the wheels go round and round, as Elton John would put it, in the windmills of our minds, as Sting would phrase it. Many young people, or those who have previously refused to grow up, may stop avoiding the need to recognize they have a life to direct, actually taking active responsibility for their own growth. Facing real-life stuff is a good thing for the workings of one's own heart, mental health, and the strength and core of our communities. In the Bible, there is a verse in both Matthew 6:21 and in Luke 12:34, which says, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." It indicates in life we become invested in pursuits and then become infested. It indicates in life we become invested in pursuits and then become infested by them. They can take on a kind of possession of our concentration, and we are hard-pressed to see past the preoccupation they bring. Well, one of the blessings in this time as a result is many of these types of possessing foci have lost their grip because they have lost the active investment of our time and energies, and some of our hearts have been shaken loose. This is a good thing. During COVID's worldwide and local impact, because of the fleeting influence in the teetering corporate ladder, some have been disillusioned over the aspirations of high power. They found it leaving them dry in the wellspring of their lives. Some people who gain their momentum from this kind of pursuit are now finding new direction and focus regarding job or career goals, realizing much more what they are designed for. These people are waking up to a potentially new release on life. Instead of living in the now in a vegetative neutral state, many are turning to engage their future from the vantage point of this block of time and seeing alternatively. This is a good thing and bodes well for the future of the entrepreneurial spirit and an eventual strong economy to come. I hope the various governments recognize the potential here. It's akin to the wisdom of buying low and selling high. This will be a time to invest in people when the lockdowns are over, or maybe even earlier, a little ahead of the curve, all under this new model of a much larger at-home business networked economy and larger shipping industry. Could be a good thing. Just think of the much lower overhead and maintenance of buildings and properties under an established permanent online learning and teaching system, and the continuity for teaching standards in rural areas, if the ways we are doing things now are viewed as the blessings they can be, embraced and then expanded upon permanently. The teachers and the various education boards could commit in a win-win scenario. The strain on overcrowded classes would vanish. Happy unions, more teaching jobs. Think of all the properties available for other government use instead of having to buy and build new buildings. So here the maintenance jobs will be secure. Monies would be freed up for economic development and other promises which have been made during or interrupted by COVID. That would be a good thing. The collaboration of these monies to enhance our internet access to rural areas for business and for online education would free up major flow for both purposes in the overlap, reducing duplication of spending. The support could be very real from the many who have long needed infrastructure in these terms for a future way of life. It would also provide an easier layer of automatic health system security and financial security for any kind of widespread health concern in the future, as people would be able to function more readily at home and be less tempted to travel, except for necessities, under any future lockdowns needed. This would be fiscally responsible government. A good thing. Honestly, forget the doomsayers. This downtime, for many who are remaining open to possibilities, is a build-up time. There has been more time to focus on parent-child and other family relationships, reconnecting with how much they are part of the reason for life, which is certainly a good thing. May I suggest, for someone out there who has the wherewithal and the large computer tech company connections, there is a major public opportunity and future business growth boom, not to mention potential massive tax deductions for the nonprofit investment, a good thing all around. It could parallel when IBM and other computer companies provided large amounts of computers for schools. There are so many seniors in senior communities, homes, and long-term care units who are tech illiterate or deprived. If companies out there would take on the project to provide laptops loaded for ease of use for seniors, and any needed instruction for video chat functions, etc., this would fill the void of personal connection with family to a significant degree for seniors who are stranded on Elder Island. Don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating an imprudent approach, but there is merit in the idea. There is one model called GrandPad. I've seen it on television, but I think it's from the States. It is an out-of-the-box, virtually plug-and-play design, from what I understand. I wonder if there is a good Canadian counterpart for this type of thing. Some politician, nudge nudge, could take this project up. It would be a good thing from a government who cares. Well, off my soapbox and back to our personal perspectives. Isn't it interesting how what's good for our inside is what grows good things around us as a result? If nothing else, the reorientation presented to us during lockdowns provides us opportunity to see in a clearer way what's real and therefore actually important. We come up to it. Life is not just a ride, but a trek, and we are involved in the way we navigate the steps we take. Let's turn cabin fever inside out. Happy Inspirational 2021 from all of us here at The Standard.
Winter is not always about fun and games, by Tina Y. Gerber, special to The Standard. Winter can be an especially difficult time for seniors to stay physically active, and even the hardiest of seniors may want to stay inside and hibernate under a warm, cozy blanket with a cup of hot cocoa. For seniors, winter can be particularly dangerous. They face frigid weather, slippery sidewalks, isolation, and loneliness during the chilliest and darkest part of the year. When getting out of the house is too difficult, along with the continued lockdown measures, there are ways to continue to stay active at home. During winter months, boredom and malaise can make it challenging, especially for seniors with limited mobility and chronic illness. Remember, exercise is a proven mood booster and will help to fight off the winter blahs. Seniors can enjoy a wide variety of indoor activities. You may want to try indoor exercise, knitting, cross-stitching, join a book club, complete puzzles, or enjoy mental puzzles like Sudoku. Perhaps you can learn a new activity, or your senior residences have a senior aquafit class. There are a variety of videos for home exercises, which don't require a lot of space or equipment, gauged for seniors. Both mental and physical activity can combat symptoms of depression and anxiety. It's important to remember physical activity is a fundamental component of maintaining good health, and the benefits are crucial for your mental well-being during the cold winter months. Senior safety and health are important all year, but the need for support increases during the winter. The usual stress of going to the grocery store or getting to appointments are intensified as weather and road conditions worsen. Like anyone else, seniors don't have to dread winter, but taking the necessary precautions to keep them healthy and safe goes a long way. Tips on staying safe. Number 1. Wear high-traction shoes and boots when traveling outside. Number 2. Outsource snow removal for walkways and driveways or ask a neighbor. Number 3. Always dress warmly during the day and at night when body temperatures can drop. Number 4. Be prepared for emergencies like power outages. Number 5. Enjoy a hot meal and drink hot beverages regularly. Number 6. Remember your supply of medicines, food, blankets, and have a flashlight handy with extra batteries. Making small changes and being prepared can make a big impact when it comes to a senior's independence. If you know a neighbor or senior who is at risk, lend a helping hand. It is a big way to demonstrate your love for God and the community. Even small gestures can mean a great deal.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.